welcome to the Tea and a Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to be talking about minor royals. And you might wonder, what is a minor royal?
Royals who mine?
Royals who mine. Well, second tier royals. Royals who, the B team royals. So not the A team royals.
Yeah. So these are royals that don't fight crime.
These are royals that don't fight crime and were in no way part of the Vietnam War or whatever that.
What?
You haven't seen the A Team?
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened.
I guess, yeah, I think so. That was what, yes.
But that was the reference. Yeah, we're talking about people who aren't in line to the throne. Well, they are in line to the throne, but they're never going to see it.
They're at the back of the line.
They're at the back of the queue, and it's not getting, and they're getting pushed further back. You know.
Yeah. Why do you say? There you go. This is totally off topic, but
well,
you
this
guys,
is what we're all about.
You know us. Why do you say they're in line to the throne, but yet you call it queuing? Why are they not in the queue to the throne?
Maybe they are. Maybe the Queen says, "Oh, are they in the queue? Get to the back of the queue." So when someone comes and goes, I think I've got a ticket here that allows me to jump the queue. No, I mean the Big Six is what I'm calling.
Six.
And football fans will know what I mean by that.
Soccer.
The soccer fans.
You're in America now, boy.
It's Euro 2020 now. So
that means nothing to me.
Well, you are just not a soccer fan, are you? Euro 2020 is happening right now.
We've got a new soccer team in Austin, you guys. I don't know if they're ever going to play anybody from not in America, but we've got a stadium. We've got everything.
I mean, what would it be called? The American League? You know, like the Champions League America?
I don't know.
Because in Britain,
MLS, Major League Soccer, so it's the same thing as like.
I mean,
NFL
you'd play
MLB.
other towns, like you'd play, like Austin FC would play Miami or whatever. You know, I'd imagine that would happen. It'd be like the World Series of Soccer. You know?
Yeah.
Which is an indirect plug for our World Series of Pies that we're currently doing over on Instagram.
Oh,
so go follow us on there and vote for your favorite pie.
At Tea Buddy, we're doing it just about like every other day. We're putting up a poll, and we're not revealing the results. So if you can figure it out if you're keeping close track.
Yeah, I think you all are, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end of the month. We'll have the World Series of Pies.
We'll have the big reveal. We'll have the winner.
Yes.
And who will be crowned the champion of pies.
Yes.
But no, like as we're just getting back to the soccer, because that's completely on topic right now. You know, we'll have Austin, and would they play a team from Mexico? You know, like
I don't know.
Like whatever, Chihuahua, Mexico City.
I have
soccer.
no idea.
Or Canada even.
I think they're playing.
That would be good.
So far, I think they're just playing other cities in America.
I mean, I guess. But that's just kind of weird to me. You know, like obviously in Britain, other local
you have
teams,
Chelsea playing
Arsenal and Tottenham,
yeah,
and Manchester City and all that. But we also play like Real Madrid and Bayern Munich and
is that a different league? This is a totally separate podcast.
Inter Milan. That's the European Champions League.
Okay.
And that's what they were complaining about with that thing, like the Big Six, like they got so wound up and they got the government to step in and whatever,
Speaking of the Big Six, who are the Big Six royals?
Anyway, that's a whole other episode right there.
Yeah.
The Big Six are the first in line, obviously, after the Queen is Prince of Wales, which is Charles. Then the Duke of Cambridge, which is William. Then his kids, which are Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Mm-hmm. And then it's the Duke of Sussex, which is Harry, and he's at the Big Six. He's at the bottom now. Mm-hmm. Because before he would have been third.
Yeah.
After William, but now William's had kids. He's got knocked out.
And didn't Charles want to do something like, only only the big six, and then everybody else that's royal family doesn't get anything?
Only the big six. No, it was only the most senior members of the royal family, so the Queen and her children would be allowed any access to the privy purse, which is the civil list.
Okay.
I think the civil list has actually been abolished now, and I think it's like the privy purse or whatever it is. So anyone on that would get money. The rest of the royal family, it's fend for yourself, find a job, do something.
Sorry, I'm still laughing about the fact that we started talking about soccer for so long. Only on this podcast, you guys.
Only on this podcast we were talking about it. And I mean, I'm not really even into soccer that much, you know. I'm not really into... I'll watch a game here and there, but, you know, I'm not, like, following it religiously like I do the royal family. Like, every day I'm just like, who's going to be knocked down the line now, you know?
So after the big six...
After the big six, I mean, you have a...
After the big six, then it goes back to Charles's siblings, right?
Yes. No, actually, it's 7 and 8, I think, is now Harry's kids.
Oh, right.
And then it comes on to...
the Duke of York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Duke of York, Prince Andrew. Who's much beloved by everyone at the moment, and has always been. And he was married to Fergie, and they're happily divorced now, living together in the Royal Lodge. Yeah, she lives there.
Yeah. They probably don't ever see each other.
Well, I mean, apparently crazy women are always trying to get to him. There's always reports of like, oh, there was a woman wandering about on the Royal Lodge estate saying she was there for lunch with Prince Andrew.
Maybe they're trying to kill him.
I mean,
there might be assassins for all we know.
For all we know, but anyway.
Yeah.
They had 2 kids, Princess Beatrice and Eugenie.
Yeah.
And they don't earn any money from the government or the privy purse or anything. They've had to like fend for themselves.
Okay.
Because, you know, I mean, Fergie doesn't either. Because they're divorced, actually.
Oh.
I think it's some kind of thing. I'm not sure about that, but I think
surely not. Because they're still grandchildren of the Queen. Just because they don't get any
money. So
yeah, it's probably just because they're so far down the line. It's just like, you know, but didn't they live in the palace, or am I just thinking of that show, the Windsors?
The palace. It's like you're thinking of Buckingham Palace.
Well,
there's several palaces.
Well, in any of the palaces, because I think there's apartments, aren't there?
There's apartments in Buckingham Palace.
In Kensington, too, I think.
In Kensington Palace and Clarence House. Yeah. All of those big, you know, around St. James's Palace, too, yeah. Yeah. But no, Royal Lodge is up at Windsor, on the grounds of Windsor Castle. So I think that's where they are now. I think that's where they kind of like have...
Who?
The Queen and everything.
Oh, everyone.
Yeah. They're just there now all the time.
Yeah, it seems like the Queen mostly
She never
lives
really
at
comes
Windsor.
back to Buckingham Palace. I think she's kind of like...
Well, she must when she's got to do like...
official stuff.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, because she received...
Biden
there.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's like a state thing. It's like,
she's
you know...
95!
I mean, when you look at the Crown, it's always like, give them... Let's give them a tour of Balmoral. Let's do shooting up in Balmoral for the president's visit, you know.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that they were going to do for Johnson, I think, wasn't it? Lyndon LBJ.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, JFK didn't get Balmoral."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's, you know, so they've got Beatrice. She's 9th in line to the throne, and she was actually in 2008 she volunteered as a sales assistant at Selfridges.
What?
Yeah. she went to work there. She volunteered anyway, you know, because I guess she was still getting money or something at that point. But she went, I'm gonna have a job now. I'm gonna be, hello, Beatrice here. How can I help you?
Oh my god, that is so crazy.
Then she worked at the Foreign Office's press office for a period of time, and she didn't receive a salary for that. And then she was interested in pursuing a career at the Financial Times.
It's just like, oh, I think it would be really nice to have a career at the Financial Times. Could you do that for me? It's like, did she go to college? She must have.
Yeah, I think she did. I think they went to like college and
stuff. Or they just pull these careers out of their.
I mean, you know, if you watch the Windsors, it's like, you know, they don't know what they're total, like, you know. Don't know what they're doing.
Because they just get into college. I mean, if they do go to college, they just get in because of who they are, and they just graduate because of who they are. They didn't learn anything.
That's the truth. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be fine because I've got a title.
Yeah,
I'm a princess. Yeah. I'm a prince. It's like someone's gonna lay out the red carpet for me.
I only know her because isn't she the one who wore the toilet seat on her head to Prince William?
Her or Eugenie?
Catherine's wedding.
Yes. Yeah, that's where they got. Say. Yeah, her and Eugenie had the craziest hats.
Yeah.
There. She was also in Young Victoria. Do you remember that film?
Oh, I don't know if we saw it actually.
Yeah, she had an ex. She was a non-speaking role.
Oh my
extra.
god, that is hilarious.
And she was a paid intern at Sony Pictures for a while.
Okay.
And then resigned after the hacking incident in late 2014. And then she went to New York. She decided, I'm going to move to New York now. And then she had a full-time job and split her time between London, and she's known as Beatrice York in her professional capacity, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's married to Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi, who's a property developer.
It's so weird to me how, you know, it's like the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, so they call them the Cambridges. Like, yes. Cambridge is their last name.
Like their last name, yeah. Well, I mean, that's their title, yeah.
How must that feel as
the Cambridges and the
just
Yorks,
being as a human, being a human person, Sussexes. You know? I mean, it must feel normal to them, I guess. Although no, because William, it's not like William was Cambridge for his whole life, right?
He was William Windsor or Wales or whatever, you know.
They do say Wales, too.
Yeah, because he's Charles, Prince of Wales, you know.
Oh my god, that is so weird. I mean, think about it. You've been, you know, your last name your whole life. It's just like...
Well, I mean,
you're not
growing
suddenly...
up in that kind of thing, it's like someone comes and tells you, goes, oh, yeah, that's your name. Oh, okay. You know, I don't think they sit around and go, what's my name? You know, what do I sign this with? It's like, oh, you know what you sign it with. You sign it with them.
I don't know. I mean, they might do that.
Harry now probably does, because he's kind of been struck off everything. You know, he's separated ties.
So are they calling them the Sussexes?
They're still calling themselves.
No, but the new
Sussexes.
Baby. By the way, guys, we haven't talked about the new baby that they've had. But
they've had a new baby.
Yeah, that was a
Lilibet.
Again, was another topic.
They've had a new daughter.
Yeah, Lilibet Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you follow us on Instagram, we briefly just shouted them out.
You know.
But her last name is Mountbatten Windsor.
Yo.
Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. That's what it said on the whatever I read.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What
she be
the convention
Sussex?
is. Well, no, because that's their title. That's.
And they don't have that now, right?
No, they do. They're still the
Sussexes?
They're still Sussex Royals.
How come they don't get to use the Sussex Instagram anymore?
Do they? I don't know.
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
They're not allowed?
Mm-hmm. That was part of them being stripped of their...
Well, maybe, because it's got a lot of followers and stuff, and they don't want to confuse people that they're doing royal duties.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, Archwell.
Because they didn't even announce the birth on that site. They only did it on the official royal.
They're not Her Royal Highness anymore, and he's not His Royal Highness anymore.
But they're still calling them the Duke and Duchess.
He's Prince Harry. He's gonna forever be Prince Harry until he formally renounces that.
Yeah.
And I think he's still the Duke of Sussex.
Mm.
So, you know, because, I mean, you have to really, go all out and go into private citizenship then.
Because really, I mean, you know, I'm like, oh, they're called Mountbatten Windsor, but really, if we're being, really real, they're not even Mountbattens, are they?
No.
Because Prince Philip, that was not his last name. That was his mother's last name, right?
It gets confusing, yeah.
Okay, anyway, back on topic.
I mean, we got Eugenie. Eugenie, she married Jack Brooksbank, and he's now a brand ambassador for Casamigos tequila.
Oh, wait. Yeah, but I think you said Beatrice married a prince or somebody, didn't she? Wasn't he a prince of Italy or something?
Oh, he was nobility. Yeah, his mother.
He's a count or something.
Yeah, they have an ancestral seat or something. Yeah, he's nobility. He's Italian nobility. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was born in London and
But
everything.
she wouldn't take his last name? I mean, we don't know how this last name thing works.
We'll
have to get Podcast Royal
York,
on
because
to
it's like,
everything.
oh, that's easy to say because it's like I'm the daughter of,
yeah,
and I need money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So the Beatrice York is what I'm called.
So when I'm in Britain, I'm not taking this Mosey's last name because nobody will know who I am.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's now vice president of partnerships and strategy at Affinity, which is a company.
Okay.
You know, and it's just like, okay,
yeah,
what's that? Eugenia's sister, she married Jack Brooksbank, who works as a Casamigos tequila, and she's kind of like, she went to New York also in 2013.
What's up with that?
I guess they were just getting money, you know, they were getting jobs.
Let's
go to New York.
Let's get to New York.
Let's go to New York, get this job, make some money.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Andrew...
Because they're going to get a job in New York. They're going to get a job if they come over here, aren't they? They're like, oh, yeah, we're princesses. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah.
Are you? It's like, because you imagine them turning up in, like, Dallas or Houston randomly and walking into a place and going, yes, I'm princess. They wouldn't care.
I don't know. I think they would.
They'd have to verify the credentials or Google them.
Yeah, you know? yeah.
Google them.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be like you walking in and going, oh, I'm Prince Dominic of...
And I'll put up some fake Google listings.
I'm Dominic, Prince of Wales.
Google me. Google me. I'm coming up. I just want the top position here. Just pay me some money and I'll go away. Honestly, I won't.
Pay me some money and you'll never see me again.
That's what I'll do to all the companies I'm going to, like, you know. Just go in and pay me some money, give me a position, pay me some money, and I'll just leave. And you'll never see me again.
You never have to worry about
and
it.
I'll never work for you again. Just pay me a good salary the rest of my life. But yes, you know, she's now like working for Hauser and Wirth Art Gallery as an associate director and was promoted to director in 2017. And it's like, what are they doing? You know, it's like, are they actually, is it jobs for the girls?
Well, I mean, I don't know, because, you know, you're brought up in that life. They have quite a collection, I think, within their family of famous art, you know. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, at least during the Queen's generation, that was part of her education, was to learn about art and artists and all of that. So probably they had to learn something about art. So, I mean, that's a fair enough job. That's a little bit better than financial whatever that Beatrice thought, oh, yeah.
I'm going to be a financial advisor.
Financial Times.
She was going to work for the Financial Times website.
Oh.
And I think, you know, it's kind of like, you know, because they had quite a bit of trouble getting Andrew a job.
Yeah. They
had even worse trouble, which I'll get onto in a minute with Edward, because, you know, you had William and Anne, and we'll talk about Anne as well, because they were like senior in, they were so much older than
Charles and Anne,
yeah who were so much older than Edward and Andrew,
like 10 years or so.
And Andrew, you know, they did their stint in the armed forces, and then they went into, like, you know, business life. And I think Andrew got a job with the Board of Trade, which was just absolutely terrible. Because he was just kind of like, you know, he wasn't doing a job. He was going, he was schmoozing. Yeah. And he was just there and he was making money on the side, and he wasn't declaring it, and he was also part of the civil list. It was all this kind of thing, you know, that the private eye have him covered, you know? It's like, that kind of thing. And then, and then Edward, who's 13th in line. He's married to Sophie, who's apparently now the Queen's Rock after the Duke of Edinburgh died. Sophie, Countess of Wessex. He's Earl of Wessex. He didn't get a dukedom.
He's the baby of the Queen Elizabeth's
Yeah, he's
kids.
the youngest, yes.
I didn't really know anything about her. I think you had mentioned to me before that you thought that the two of them are quite respected because they keep quiet. They keep to themselves. They keep
themselves to themselves.
They're not like they're not really seen to be like sort of leeching like some of the other royals are.
Yeah, no. I mean,
and then I just recently read that apparently she's the Queen's most favorite in-law.
Well, I mean, I mean, when you think about it, Camilla and then Fergie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of like, she had no choice but to like well, I mean, I don't know how she feels about Anne's husband, Timothy. She might like him too, but I think Sophie Rhys-Jones was her name before she was the Countess of Wessex.
Is she Welsh?
No. She was born in, I imagine somewhere down the line.
Somewhere, because Rhys is a Welsh name,
Rhys-Jones.
And Jones.
Rhys-Jones, yeah. Edward, he kind of started, he was going to go into entertainment and everything like that,
Oh, God.
And he started his own production company. And I don't know if you ever heard everybody talks about It's a Royal Knockout. From like the late 80s. John Travolta. I just
remember seeing that
There's a load of celebrities.
On the Windsors.
Yeah, but no, there was a load of celebrities on it.
Okay.
And, it was kind of like It's a Knockout was like this like game show. In the thing, but it's a royal knockout.
It wasn't like Celebrity Deathmatch from MTV on MTV.
Kind of.
That's what I'm envisioning.
It was kind of like an 80s version of that. and he started that up, and the Queen, Duke of Edinburgh, Charles and Diana, who was still alive at the time, but this was about 1987, didn't want to participate, and they said it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
But it was him, it was Edward, Princess Anne, Duke of York and Fergie. They all kind of like sponsored these teams. I don't know if they actually participated, but the teams were like full of celebrities, and it was like it was kind of like a celebrity death match, competing against each other for charity.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, like the press for some reason were kept in a tent while the whole thing was going on.
Yeah.
And they filmed it and everything. They aired it over here as well,
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess it was buried after it because I remember there was like footage of Edward coming in going, "What did you all think?" And all the press hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Because they were stuck in his tent or, waiting for him.
What?
And so they just kind of went, and he thought they were just being all like, "Oh, they hated it. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone." And he stormed off all happily. But it was like, everybody was just kind of like, Edward, what's he gonna do? The trouble with Edward, It's
yeah.
And I mean, he kind of had this production, and he did a it was like documentaries and stuff on people like the Duke of Windsor, his uncle.
Yeah.
His uncle? His great uncle?
Yes.
That's Edward VIII for everyone who's trying to follow along.
Yeah, because it's Elizabeth's uncle.
Yeah, Elizabeth's uncle. So he was a great uncle. Yeah, so he did a documentary on him, and it was quite well received. It was like in the mid-90s, but he had to end up winding up his production company because, and it's just charity work now, and they kind of keep themselves to themselves, and he married Sophie in 1999, I think. And he's just been on the down low, I'm not causing any trouble.
Yeah.
Except for It's a Royal Knockout. John Travolta and everyone was in it.
But it wasn't trouble, it was just more like embarrassing, I guess.
It was kind of embarrassing. I've seen clips of it.
John Travolta, yeah, I don't know what that was. I mean, he was all buddies with Diana, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was all like in the royal circles and stuff. Yeah, there was a bunch of people who were part of the teams.
Was it sort of like was it outdoors?
Like it was like a sports day.
Okay.
Yeah, it was outdoor things, where they had to run around things and stuff. and stick the bat.
So it's not like celebrity death match then.
No, that would be better now. Actually,
they're just boxing each other.
Can you imagine that they had they got Harry and William
versus a celebrity
versus all the celebrities and they each had two teams and they had like celebrity death match. Just God. I'm gonna get Harry. All he's done.
Jeez.
But yeah, then we have 14th in line is Anne, who she's been probably one of the most hardest working royals next to the Queen.
Yeah.
She does pretty much everything. She's like
you sort of just picked out the most interesting ones to talk about here, right? Because there's a billion.
There's a billion
other royals that people don't know about.
We could go all the way down the line. I could go to like the last in line to the throne.
Yeah.
Right, and talk about them, but it's probably some kid who's being brought up in Gloucester or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there even a last in line? Because probably
people keep getting. It's a knockout. It's keeping knocked out. I mean, if they have any more kids, William and Catherine, which I don't think they will. I think they've stopped now at 3, haven't they? Well, he's out of the big 6, Harry, and I mean, I think he's fine with that. I don't think he wants to be king. I mean, people think he wants to be king, or Meghan's got this like, oh, I'm gonna be queen. So,
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I've picked out the most interesting like minor royals, and these are like royals that the layman doesn't really think about, because when people think about it, they just think about the Queen and Charles and Harry and William.
I feel like people don't even know about Anne for some reason. Americans
people
particularly.
Don't even know about Anne. They don't even know she exists.
Edward either. I think they only know about Prince Andrew because of Fergie and then his more reasons.
And scandals, yeah.
Yeah. But I really don't think people even know that Anne exists
over
here.
I mean, she's got a couple of kids, Anne.
Yeah.
With Mark Phillips, who she divorced in the same year that Charles divorced Diana.
Oh, was it?
And Andrew divorced Fergie.
Oh gosh.
So it was like a triple threat.
Yeah.
She was married to Mark Phillips and she had 2 kids with him, Peter and Zara.
Mm-hmm.
Zara Tyndall, who's married to the rugby player.
Zara was an Olympian, wasn't she?
She was an equestrian, like Anne was too.
Yeah. Oh, an Olympian as well too, right? Yeah.
And so Zara does charity work. She's kind of like thing. Peter, that's the elder brother. He does nothing, but he's kind of a bit more like, I'll take any job I can get.
Like what people think royals are like.
Yeah. He's kind of like, he just does this and that, and he takes jobs and advertises and uses his status to get jobs and whatever,
Yeah.
But yeah, and she holds like patronage in over 300 organizations. The Carers Trust being one, and charity work and all that,
Yeah.
She does a lot of charity work for like sports sciences, people with disabilities, health in developing countries. She's basically the Queen's right hand in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's taken all of them on.
She believes in getting stuff done.
Getting it done. No nonsense.
That's sort of like Philip, though, huh? Philip.
Yes, I think.
He was quite interested in.
Anne was Philip's favorite, as they say.
Yeah.
Whereas Andrew was the Queen's.
Philip was quite into doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one I've got on this is one that probably no one will ever know. Who doesn't know about the royal family will ever figure out, is the Duke of Kent, and that's Prince Edward.
Okay.
And he's held that title since he was 6, when his father died in a plane crash in 1942. So he's been Duke of Kent. You see,
I don't know him. Okay, explain to me who he is.
He's married. He's the first cousin to the Queen, and he's 40th in line to the throne.
Okay.
Because he's been knocked so far down, now.
He's the first cousin to the Queen, so he's Queen Elizabeth's cousin.
Yes.
He is whose kid then?
The Duke of Kent, Prince George.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her dad's brother that nobody ever talks about because he didn't abdicate the throne.
Yes,
he didn't become king.
Yes, he died. He died in 1942 in a plane crash.
Oh, I didn't know
so
that.
he was, he became, because like at the death of like King George the Sixth, he was there. He's that little gangly, walking with the dukes,
I never even thought about the fact that, oh my gosh, we're so out of time. I never thought about the fact that they had that other brother, but they didn't ever talk about him in like The Crown or...
Well, no, because he didn't do anything interesting, that's why.
Well, because he was dead.
Well, he was dead, yeah, he was dead, yeah.
He was dead, yeah.
I mean,
okay.
And they don't talk about Edward, the Duke of Kent, either. You know?
And he's still alive.
He's still alive. He does things. He's married to Catherine.
How
Duchess
old is he?
of Kent.
Do we know?
I think he's got to be in his 80s now.
Yeah.
If he was 6 in 1942, do the maths.
Yeah, I think he was at Prince
86.
Philip's funeral. Actually, I seem to think he was there.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah. I was trying to think. Yeah, and he's married to someone who she's kind of like stepped back from royal duties to Catherine. And she's kind of like, but she still appears at like events and stuff. It's not as bad as Harry's stepping back.
Yeah.
She renounced all her royal duties in the mid-90s, and I think everybody was just like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But he's quite busy. He's involved with like 140 charity organizations and stuff like that, and he does things. It's just kind of like, we're getting a member of the royal family today, and everybody's thinking, ooh, it's Charles, ooh, it's William, you know. It's like, oh, it's the Duke of Kent. It's like,
who's the Duke of Kent?
Who's that?
But still, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, he's like, he's from her generation, so he's a lot. I don't know. He's a lot more royal. I don't know where I was going with that. But
he's been around. He's seen things.
Yeah, he's seen.
He's been to. He's done some stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's been on the royal stage, since he was 6.
I mean,
he's been the Duke of Kent since he was 6. So yeah, I mean, he's been like indoctrinated.
Yeah.
And I don't think he ever tried to rebel.
Huh. Very
That's
interesting.
For the next series of The Crown.
Yeah, the Royal Rebels.
Yeah, it's a Royal Knockout. Rebel edition.
Royal Rebels. We could probably do a podcast about Royal Rebels. Let us know if you'd be interested in hearing about that. Anyway, we are out of time.
Yeah, out of time, everybody.
Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. We appreciate your support, and we will talk to you next time. Be sure to check us out on social media.
Yep.
We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TButty, TEABUTTY.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.